Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a practical, completely no-fluff playbook to basically demystify 2026 handyman rates for San Diego homeowners. Look, if you own property up in North County, specifically around the Escondido area, you already know the drill. Keeping up with home maintenance can literally start to feel like a frustrating part-time job, but we're going to use the latest 2026 data from FixPro San Diego to give you absolute clarity on what home repairs should cost, what you actually need to look out for, and how to get it all done right the first time.
Here's our agenda for today's explainer. We'll start with 2026 handyman rates explained, then look at your home's unique repair profile, move into the inland heat cycle effect, count down the top 5 local home repairs, and wrap up with how to hire smartly. Basically, we're going to give you the exact costs up front and show you how to fix things efficiently.
Okay, Section 1. 2026 handyman rates explained. Let's just tackle the bottom line that every homeowner wants to know right away.
So, $90 to $130. That is the 2026 hourly rate you can generally expect for smaller, one-off handyman tasks across the county. But it's really important to keep in mind that if you just have, say, one single hole in the drywall to patch, you're almost certainly going to face a 1-hour minimum. Or you'll be looking at a service call fee that usually sits around a much higher $120 to $180, since sourcing parts and specialized tools has to factor into that base rate. So what do you do if you have more than just one tiny repair?
Well, here is the absolute insider secret to saving money, and honestly saving yourself from that awful clock-watching anxiety. It's bundling. Instead of paying an hourly premium for separate, individual visits, you can get a flat-rate bundle. A standard visit covering 4 to 6 items usually runs between $400 and $800. You get a single written quote before any work starts and just one trip charge. It's so much more efficient. And if you have a massive punch list, say a full day's worth of work with 8 to 12 items, that's typically going to run between $750 and $1,500.
Now what if you're out on a bit of acreage? Say you're out in Harmony Grove, up in the avocado groves north of downtown, or out in the eastern hills toward Lake Wolford. You should definitely expect a higher flat rate, because these properties just have a much larger scope. Quotes out there range closer to $850 to $1,800. But the real beauty of this is that it efficiently covers your main house, plus any barns, outbuildings, or equipment structures, all in a single mobilization.
Moving right along to Section 2, your home's unique repair profile. Because Escondido definitely isn't just one type of house, right?
The contrast across neighborhoods here is actually pretty fascinating. On one hand, you've got downtown and old Escondido with those 1940s to 70s craftsman and ranch houses. These beauties need delicate, restorative TLC. We're talking plaster cracks, realigning original door hardware that just doesn't latch anymore, and fixing up worn casing. They reward careful repair over just ripping things out. But then, on the other hand, you have the master-planned tract homes along the 78 and I-15 corridors. Built mostly between the 80s and 2000s, these are hitting what we call their second-generation refresh window. The original builder-grade fixtures are aging out, tub caulk is totally failing. Oh, and a quick tip. If you're in one of these tract homes under an HOA, remember that any visible exterior work usually needs written approval and photo documentation before you can even touch it.
All right, Section 3, the inland heat cycle effect. This is absolutely crucial to understanding the battle between your home and the environment.
You've probably heard the local saying, if your doors stick every summer, that's the climate at work, and it's a quick fix. Escondido's weather swings are brutal. Going from a 100-degree summer afternoon to a freezing winter night is incredibly tough on a structure. Wood expands and contracts wildly, which is exactly why your doors suddenly start binding against the jamb. An exterior caulk? It fails so much faster inland than it does out on the coast. So things like sticking doors, failing weather stripping, and cracked sealants are year-round problems here. A good pro will just plane down those swollen door edges and pop in heat-rated weather stripping that's specifically built to survive inland temperatures.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, Top 5 Local Home Repairs. Let's see what's actually breaking in your neighborhood. So, based on all that, here are the top 5 calls a professional handyman gets in this area. First up, sticking doors and weather stripping repair. Again, driven by those crazy seasonal shifts. Second, exterior caulk renewal. The heat cycle absolutely destroys your tub, shower, and window sealant, and you have to stay on top of it to keep water out. Third is fixture updates. Think about swapping out those noisy old ceiling fans and dated bathroom vanity lights. Number 4, drywall and plaster patching. This is fixing old TV mount holes, nail pops, and those annoying stress cracks. And finally, number 5, deck and exterior wood repair. Sun-baked fences, pergolas, and dry-rotted trim all need fixing to keep your outdoor spaces safe. Now, chances are, as I read that list, you realized you need at least 2 or 3 of those done right now, which goes right back to why bundling those flat rate visits is such a game changer.
Okay, let's wrap things up with Section 5, how to hire smartly. You've got your list. Now, how do you get it done without getting taken for a ride? You might literally be asking yourself right now, wait, does a handyman in Escondido actually need a license? It's definitely one of the most common sources of confusion for homeowners.
So here's the rule. In California, contractors' license is only legally required once a single job's combined labor and materials hit a $500 threshold. If a minor repair falls below that $500 mark, an unlicensed handyman can completely legally handle it. But if a larger project crosses that line, you absolutely need to verify their license number through the California Contractors State License Board before they swing a single hammer.
This is a vital distinction, and it's going to save you some serious cash. Most of the maintenance we've talked about today, the door adjustments, the simple drywall patches, the caulking, that falls squarely in handyman territory. A general contractor is who you bring in for major structural work, full remodels, or large permitted projects. You really shouldn't be paying premium GC rates just to swap out a bathroom mirror or a ceiling fan. Using a handyman for your punch list is faster and it is way, way cheaper.
So, when you're actually ready to book someone, often for a same week or even a same day visit, here's exactly what you do. Call them or use their online form. Describe the repair and where it is in the house. But most importantly, send photos. Seriously, taking 30 seconds to snap a picture allows them to give you a preliminary price right over the phone, and it guarantees the technician shows up with the exact right tools. And because dispatch usually comes up the 15 or the 78, typical response times are a surprisingly fast 25 to 45 minutes, though rural spots might take closer to an hour.
As we finish up this explainer, I want you to just kind of look around your house. Look at that aging ceiling fan, the random crack in the hallway drywall, or that door you literally have to shoulder check to close every July. Ask yourself, what is the real cost of giving up your precious weekends to struggle with all that, versus just handing a bundled list over to a pro? It might finally be time to reclaim your weekend. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.